Welcome to Supplier Spot Spotlight, the podcast where we shine a light on the RV, park, and campground outdoor hospitality industry. Join us as we chat with suppliers, park owners, and staff, uncovering insights, strategies, and stories that will elevate your outdoor experience. Get ready for inspiration and innovation in every episode.
All right, everybody. Bobby Sorton here again, Supplier Spot Spotlight. This is the first time we actually get to do guests where there's two guests on at the same time. So it's cool to have this. You guys are my first when it comes to doing two guests at the same time. So I've got Matt Whittemore and Alex Burkett with me. They're both from rol, R-O-L, Campgrounds. Thanks for being on, guys. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, Bobby.
This is great. I met Alex a couple years ago, back when I used to work for a different software company. And then we were at Coney together, and I got to meet Matt for the first time. So it was great meeting you guys up there. It was a nice little show to go to and have some fun. But yeah, thanks for coming on and being part of this spotlight. I'm interested and anxious to learn about what rol Campgrounds is, and we're going to start talking a little bit about that. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit about Supplier Spot. I always open up the show and say, hey, this is the Supplier Spot Spotlight. My goal in this industry is to try to get this website out there so RV park campground owners and property management companies and suppliers have a one-stop spot to go and find amenities, products, services, whatever you're looking for. So with that being said, I know you guys know a little bit more about it. What do you think about Supplier Spot? Is it something you guys could use, or are you guys like, nope, I think it sucks, you should get rid of it? Which I hope you guys won't say that, but what do you guys think about it?
No, I mean, Bobby, from talking with you early on about it, when we were first sort of talking about your launch for this and vision for it, I have loved that idea. I think it's long been a need in the industry to consolidate different suppliers and people together. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that, in your original vision that really spoke with me is the ability to actually connect park owners to other park owners to sell products, get recommendations for the suppliers in the industry, people that have worked well, vendors that actually provide value to your park and the services they provide. I mean, one example of, hey, if we've got extra meters or extra parts or supplies sitting around the campground, we can actually list those items, connect with another park owner who may be looking for that exact item to purchase, and maybe even get them a little bit of a deal and know that our surplus junk that might just be sitting there at the park collecting dust is going to actually go to another campground to continue to improve the industry and give back. So, for me, I've really loved the facilitation and the sort of community aspect around sourcing and finding vendors that actually work with parks in the industry.
Yeah, Alex, I mean, that was exactly I didn't even think about doing that until I think we had the initial conversation with you when I was trying to get your idea about it. Because you used to work for a different company where you were actually managing a park, and you mentioned that to me. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. So that actually sparked my interest. I revamped the website since I first launched it back in March. That old platform, I just didn't like it at all. But I did something quickly just to get some feedback from people. So I rebuilt the website now, which I really like how the new one came out. And now I'm currently working on, I actually hired a developer now this time to help me with the back end stuff. We're doing shop.supplierspot.com. And that's going to be the section where, like you were just talking about, suppliers who have products they want to sell can just build their own store right online. They'll be able to put the link of shop.supplierspot and then their own little store right onto the Supplier Spot landing page that they have for their information. Same thing for, like you said, park owners. Park owners will be able to list themselves at the shop.supplierspot and then say, hey, I got some meters that we're not using anymore, or some old picnic tables if anybody's nearby that want to buy these ones because we are getting new ones. So yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up to me because that just keeps sparking more and more ideas. So Matt, what do you think about everything?
Yeah, I totally agree with everything Alex said there. I'll add, as someone who got into this business a little over 3 years ago, being new to the industry, and it's such a niche industry that I wish I knew about Supplier Spot or that it existed in its current state. 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago.
You and me both.
Right, because just starting with a rustic rural campground, finding vendors and contractors and supplies and just navigating through all of that as a first-time owner without much experience in the industry. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like I'd be years ahead if I could have jumped in and had a resource like that. So huge fan of what you're doing, Bobby.
Great. Yeah, I appreciate it. And one other thing too is I really want it known out there, especially to all the executive directors and association presidents, I really try to promote the association. I shouldn't say I try. I do. I promote the associations out there saying, hey, we got new park owners that are in the state of Ohio. I'm just using that for an example. Go check out the Ohio Association. They've got some great suppliers on there. Plus, if you become a supplier member for them, you'll get some insider perks or insider information. So, I'm really promoting that. I know there's a few executive directors out there who think that I'm trying to take suppliers away. Like their theory is, well, if a supplier is on your supplier spot, why would they want to pay to be a supplier member with our association? And that's something I won't agree with. But to each their own. I'm not saying we can, respectfully agree to disagree, So, but I try to say, no, if a supplier is on my site and they are on your site as a supplier member, they're going to get inside information that they won't get from supplier spot. So I just always like to talk about, especially for property managers like you guys, about the associations. I try to promote them as much as possible. So, and I've got a majority of them on the site right now, but there's just a few naysayers out there that just don't agree with what I'm trying to do, which again, we agree to disagree and we can still be in this industry together. So.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Well, again, thanks guys. I hope it does well for you. And if you have any feedback about the site, please let me know. If there's any categories you want me to add to it, that'll be helpful. Let me know. I know Roll Campgrounds, we just kind of book this together. We can always get you guys up there listed as well. But speaking of that, let's go ahead and just start talking about Roll Campgrounds. What is this all about? What is this? Where did it get started? Does Roll stand for something? I mean, let's just start from the day it was born.
Matt, I'll let you take this.
Sounds good. Yeah, I appreciate that, Bobby. Roll Campgrounds is a portfolio operator of boutique campgrounds.
Okay.
Right now, we are in New York, Illinois, Indiana, North Carolina, and we are hoping to open a location in Northeast Alabama that's currently under construction.
Cool. So
we have a vision for really prioritizing the guest experience in beautiful locations in nature. Our goal is to create a national network of these boutique customer first, nature first type campgrounds.
Okay.
Usually smaller campgrounds than your typical investment company will hone in on. We just feel that it's a better experience at a smaller boutique type of campground.
Yeah.
So we've been hard at work building the portfolio, fixing up these properties. Mm-hmm. We've built a ton of experience and network over the last few years, so we're at an interesting time in the company's history. I joined in early 2024.
Okay.
Really shared the vision with the founder, Gerard Ramos. We had spent most of our time working on similar types of properties in beautiful locations, really catering to outdoorsmen and outdoors women, mm-hmm. rather than the kind of RV resort community. Those certainly serve a really great purpose and tons of demand for those properties, but we just both seem to have a calling towards really natural, rustic, beautiful properties in nature. And so prior to joining Roll, I put together a little portfolio of 3 campgrounds, 2 in the Catskills in New York and 1 in central Massachusetts.
Okay.
So I'm still an owner and operator of those properties, and joined Roll, as I said, in early 2024. Had been talking to Gerard for a while, really shared the vision that I just described, and came on as the head of real estate, and I've been working towards onboarding some of our new properties, mm-hmm. and building a pipeline of new deals, networking in the space with other investors. It's a really fascinating market to be a part of, with all sorts of private equity and institutional funds pouring into the space. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, sounds like it. I mean, as you're talking here, I'm browsing through some of the ones you guys, I guess, acquired or purchased, however word you want to use. Yeah. So I guess one question I'll have then is, if I had a campground, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to kind of do something else now, and I give you guys a call, say, hey, I'm thinking about, selling my campground. what is the process? Do I have to stay with the campground for a certain amount of time after purchase? Do you guys bring in a management team? Do I train that management team? I mean, like walk me through a process here. If a campground owner's like, hey, I really like these guys at Roll. I'm ready to retire from this park and I want to see if they want to take it over as long as they keep it going the way I want them to keep it going. So kind of explain that situation to me.
Yeah, so it's a really fascinating question, and I'll give a quick rundown of my thoughts, and then hand it over to Alex. So, as I'm sure you're well aware, Bobby, our market of campground owners is largely mom and pop owners that have been running these places for decades, which creates a big challenge as a new buyer coming into the space. You're typically buying a campground that's been operated by mom and pop for decades. They've built really close-knit relationships with the customer base.
Yep.
And there's always going to be some sort of friction when you transition away. And it's really hard to maintain the level of mom and pop service when you transition as a new investment company. So we feel that we have the ability to really mitigate those issues. Something I didn't mention, I should have mentioned earlier, was we've put a lot of resources into developing our own proprietary technology for booking and back-end management.
Okay.
We feel that's a pretty big differentiator for us.
Oh, so you guys don't go with like a reservation software company. You have your own system.
Correct.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So that's, tons of resources into developing that and years of work. But as far as I know, I believe we're the only company that is positioned to offer third-party management while offering also being the technology vendor, from end to end. So we have this vision of, we come across these mom and pop owners that either their heart's not really in selling it, they still want to be part of it, part of their legacy. They're not ready to completely retire. Or we see a lot of times that they have an expectation to sell it for a price that the market isn't yet willing to pay.
Yeah.
So in both instances, we feel like with our skills developed with remote management and the technology, we can come in and partner with that owner where they can stay on site, continue to serve the customers face to face and benefit from those relationships that they've developed over the years.
Yeah.
But take some things off of their plate, whether it be the running the software, bookkeeping, marketing, payroll, hiring work campers, whatever. I mean, we've done it all and feel like we've developed a pretty good process and system to run these parks without being on site all the time. And we have great on site staff. But that's exactly a hole in the market that I think we're pretty well positioned to fill.
Cool. That sounds like a really cool plan. What you got, Alex?
Yeah, one thing I'll add to that, especially coming from, my background is more of the manager and the operator of these assets. As Bobby, I started out at, Jellystone Park and worked at a location and with the corporate team for, 5 or 6 years, and then have since moved through the industry to another portfolio before connecting with Matt and ending up at Roll. So I come from the background of being the hands-on operator and delivering really a great customer service experience and providing great hospitality. And I think that's one of the things that is often a common complaint from other third-party management companies that may be true, may not be. And I certainly don't think that all third-party managers fall into this bucket. But one of the just general things you'll hear at conferences or from other people is kind of what Matt described, right? They're not going to run it as well as I would have, or I'm going to hand this off and they're going to put somebody in there not have the same sort of passion and experience delivering to the guest. So I think that's something, with me coming on board and us beginning to really refine our strategy is ensuring that we don't lose all of that through the modern technology, services, and the really great back-end experience we're able to provide, that we don't lose sight of that experience to our customers and our guests. And, we're averaging about a 4.9 out of 5 star reviews across our campgrounds over the last 3 months.
That's great.
which is incredible, right? And
Mhm.
you know, I would venture to guess that a lot of that has to do with the quality of staff we've put in there, the training, you know, and ensuring that we really don't lose that mom and pop feel. So I think
Yeah.
that's certainly a warning for people, you know, as they sell or who they select with one of these providers, is just, you know, ensuring that no matter who it is, whether it's us or somebody else, that you find somebody that has that heart of hospitality and that still is willing to deliver a really great experience.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds great. It sounds like a really cool plan. I know if I'm thinking about it, if I was a campground owner and I built this, 40 years ago and I was ready to get out, it'd be great if I could just kind of stay there for a year with you guys to roll it into, saying this is how I would like for it to go. But like you said too, Matt, I'm sure there's some tension that could happen there as well. But, it's just one of those things where you got to find your fine line and see which part of it you want to step over, So, no, it sounds like a really cool plan. So does roll stand for something? Or is it like just roll on, or what is ROL?
Great question. So we recently rebranded. We were originally Rome Campgrounds, and
Okay.
there's been a few groups that have also used the term Rome. So we anticipated some trademark issues and issues with that. So preemptively, we rebranded to Roll,
Okay.
which can have a couple different meanings. Recreational outdoor living, we look at as the kind of literal acronym there, and then more of a tagline and a philosophy is return on life.
Oh, cool. I like them both. Yeah. So recreation, outdoor living, return on life. That's great. Love it. See, I know I had to stand for something. I was like, there's no way it could just be so, or like somebody's initials or something. So no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, well, cool. Sounds like you guys got a good plan in place and got some good things going on. And I know, Alex, you got that experience from being the owner out there, plus being in this industry for a while as well. So Matt, you and I think came into the industry right around about the same time. On this side of the industry, though, I'm an avid camper myself. We used to have a fifth wheel and a boat that we pulled behind it and all that good stuff. So, and our goal eventually is once our son, our last kid, or we have two kids, daughter just graduated this year. So our son's graduating in a year and a half. So when he graduates, we've already talked about possibly getting a big Class A diesel pusher and working from there and getting some Starlink and traveling down to the warmer states. Like I'm here in Colorado and we're sitting at like 30 degrees right now. So I'd rather be in like Florida playing golf somewhere. So that's what my wife's planning on. So I'll actually be at the parks, within a year and a half and doing live broadcasts, hopefully not live, but doing some, broadcast spotlights with park owners and staff members right from there. So that's kind of my goal. So I plan on being in this industry for a while as we continue on. So, but anything else you guys wanted to touch base on or go over or let this audience know about Roll and
we write a weekly newsletter.
Alex, can you hear him?
Yep.
Oh, you know what? I think my AirPods just connected. Hold on. That's what I was reaching to my. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I saw I have my Mac here, and it's like AirPods connected. So I can hear you. Keep going.
Yeah. No, we write a weekly newsletter.
Oh, okay.
Called Outdoor Hospitality Weekly.
Cool.
We also started a podcast of our own.
Nice.
So we've been trying to keep up with that weekly in conjunction with the newsletter under the same name, Outdoor Hospitality Weekly.
Cool.
And then all stuff we should get you involved in. Bobby.
Yeah, I want to be on your podcast now. I got to get in front of your campgrounds out there. So
yeah, and then kind of for deeper stuff, we try to keep the newsletter to like a quick 5-minute read.
Cool.
But we love doing deep dives.
Yeah,
we're students of this industry, so we started a community on school.com.
Great.
SKOOL, and that's a really cool app for like courses and communities.
Yeah.
So for now it's free. We have a school community called Investor Campfire.
Oh, cool.
So that's where we try to keep the newsletter and the podcast kind of light and surface level for people that are just getting a taste of the industry, and then we do a bunch of deep dive stuff on the community for the people that really want to get into it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to be part of that and get my information out in front of your audience out there. So, yeah,
we'll make it happen.
So yeah, as kind of Matt alluded to with that too, this is not a podcast or a newsletter like what you do or like what Alls does or other people in the space. It's really the catalog of Matt and I's experience, right? As we're building all of this and we're growing all of this. It's kind of the inside look as to how do you actually operate these things, or what are the topics and things that, man, we both have made a lot of mistakes in that we wish we would have had this 3 or 4 years ago. So if there is even another park owner now currently, or somebody who's a investor, a future owner, somebody, as Matt alluded to, trying to get their kind of hands dirty and sort of understand the space first, it's a really great starting point for all of this free information on really, our goal is whatever topic you're interested in, we'll have a piece of content on that for you to be able to start with, understand it better, and be able to understand, what is it like as an operator of multiple parks and a portfolio, people who are having to make these decisions and understand these topics to effectively run our parks. That's really who this is for and sort of the content we're trying to build out there.
That's awesome. Yeah. So got to get some plug on that. Where do we go to find that? Is that open right now? Just go to school.com. Is that where we go? Or
we can send you a link too if you publish links. Sure. But school.com, and then just search Investor Campfire.
Perfect. Well, you guys heard it there. So go to skool.com. Cool. And then, of course, your guys' website, I know you guys are still working on it. It's rol.camp, which is great. I love the new URLs. That's what I'm actually working on right now, is getting those new URLs out there. Like the whole .com thing has been so old. It's like, let's get these other ending URLs out there. So, and I own supplierspot.camp too. So it's like, but I just had everything forwarded to supplierspot.com. But yeah, so that's great. Well, guys, thanks for being on. I mean, this is a lot of good information. So love the acronyms for ROLL, and this is really good stuff. So if there's any campground owners out there, you're possibly thinking about maybe getting out of it, call Matt or Alex, or go to rol.camp. You can find them there. We'll get you guys on Supplier Spot as well. So Alex, I don't know if it's you or Matt, but we'll get you out there to set up your listing on Supplier Spot. So you guys can go to supplierspot.com and just type in ROL, and you'll see them pop up. They'll have their own landing page. And so thanks again for being on, guys. It's a good show here. I appreciate it.
Thanks
for
Bobby.
having us, Bobby.
Yep. You guys have a good one. See ya.
Thanks.
You too.
Thanks for tuning in to Supplier Spot Spotlight. Keep shining bright in the RV, park, and campground outdoor hospitality industry. Stay tuned for more illuminating conversations with industry experts. Until next time, enjoy the great outdoors.